All right, happy Tuesday, guys. It's the day or the Tuesday after the Las Vegas race number 5 of 36 on the Cup schedule. Of course, not including the exhibition races. This is your boy Sam. I'm back with another episode of Ripping the Boards, man. We're knocking these episodes down. I really needed to start making episodes right after the conclusion of the races, just so everything is fresh. But I don't want to let recency bias take over. So maybe I should do like an hour or two after the race, after things settle down a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to it when we get there. Happy Tuesday once again. Let's get right into the episode. Last time I made a video was right before the Phoenix race, I believe. And I feel like this year so far we've had amazing racing, but not all the races have been amazing. Like, for instance, Daytona, amazing racing, an amazing race. Atlanta, just the same. I feel like Atlanta probably is top three right now. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta is a banger right now, no matter what you do. There's only been one, I'd say, bad race so far at the new configuration. Um, we've had a lot of different races, a lot of different types of racing there. We've had small packs, large packs. We've had Crash Fest. We've had Pretty Clean. But I say they're all really good except for one. And I would say that was I think the 23 fall race there. But anyways, we'll get that. Coda. Coda's really come on strong in the last few years. Um, Ever since they moved the um, why are the words escaping me right now? The restart zone. Ever since they moved the restart zone into the corner before the start finish line, that's really opened everything up. Like, we still have dive bombs into turn one, but it's not as like 40 cars trying to fit their way into 5 lanes and top five. Like, oh, I can make it in the top five from 40th. You're not seeing that anymore. Um, I just wish we still had 2023 rules where um, no stage cautions. We should have no stage cautions, period, anywhere. But you play with the cards you're dealt with. Uh, we had an amazing race. We had amazing racing, and so no notes there. Um, but then we go to Phoenix. We had the potential for an amazing race. We had really good racing when they were actually able to go green and to, we saw a lot of passing. We saw a lot of tire fall off. We saw comers and goers, which is exactly what we're looking for, which is exactly what the drivers are looking for. Problem is that um, the tire that was provided didn't save the teams and drivers from themselves. The teams and drivers are always going to go overboard. And when they go overboard, we have a lot of tire failures. Uh, if you have a tire that has the potential to have a lot of blowouts, the teams will find a way to do it. They will push the boundaries as much as possible. Like, any little advantage that you can get, especially when a car is equal as the next gen car has been for the most part, um, you're gonna do it. The juice is probably worth the squeeze because either you're going to wreck, blow out a tire, or you're gonna be in the top five. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but yeah, uh, it wasn't only just that, but it was also the fact that uh, we had so many cautions. And then when you sprinkle in the stage cautions, how the stage cautions work for most events is longer than a fuel run, or just right around where it would be worth it to pit. and split the stage. Whereas if we didn't have stage racing, you probably would just run the full fuel run and then, or close to it. If you short pit, it would probably be like, 5 laps or so. Like, Phoenix would be like 5 laps or so before a full fuel run. But because of stage racing and the mandatory stage cautions, um, you have these races chopped up in a much more unnatural way. Whereas if you just had, regular cautions, you had the potential that it could still fall the same exact way, but that's not likely. Um, and so you have you always will have a set lap that you are working your way towards. So you go to that lap and then you work your way back from there, which is I've never been a fan of that. And I'm just wondering why we're still doing it. Um, but even still, that wouldn't have saved the teams from themselves. Um, there was a lot of wrecking. There was a lot of mistakes, which is what we want. But I think there was 12 or 13 cautions. Well, yeah, it's almost springtime. The allergies are getting the best of me. Already indoor, but I'm okay. Excuse me. Yeah. So when you have about 13, I think 12 or 13 cautions like we had in the Phoenix race last week, I'm never gonna think that's a good race. Like I think the 2005 Coke 600, which I think still probably to this day has the most cautions for one race in NASCAR history. Um, Great finish. There was some great racing, but was it a great race? I would say no. Many people would, disagree with me because they're like, "Oh, the ends justifies the means." Like the finish. If the finish is great, that means the whole race was great. But then, going by that same logic, if the finish is sour or not, exciting, does that make a race with a lot of amazing racing suddenly not a good race, not a good package, not a good, um, not a good viewing experience. That's a slippery slope, guys. Um, so yeah, I will say that last week's Phoenix race was not a good race, but there was some good racing in it. You see where I'm going with that. But then you get to a weekend like Vegas where a lot of racing purists like myself, they enjoy a race like that. We enjoy a race where the runs, you get all stages of a run. You get the short run, you get the medium run, and you get the long run, and you get the pit stop to go along with it. Um, so you can see who's actually fast. When you get to see who's actually fast, and not just because of a whole bunch of restarts allowing certain guys to be able to make moves that otherwise don't have the speed in their cars. I mean, from time to time, that's interesting. But when you really want to see who has what and who has the best potential on the day, you don't want to see a whole lot of that. You want to see these guys run green. You want to see the races play out naturally. Yeah. And even though the stage cautions are still there, this is probably as close to a, natural race like we had pre 2017 that we've had in a long time. Because, I think there were 3 cautions on the day. 2 of them were stage cautions. We only had one incident, and it was because miscommunication with Ricky Stenhouse and Connor Zilic. With Stenhouse trying to get on the pit road, and Zilic, made a similar mistake that William Byron did last year with, Ty Dillon, but it didn't end up with both cars being torn up. you know. Uh, but still, when that's the only caution on the day, and that's not even to say that these cars were just planted. There were a lot of guys who they had bad grip. Like some of these cars were looking evil out there. So you're just saying these guys are hanging on for dear life, and they're able to hang on, pretty damn well, I would say. Yeah, that's the kind of racing you want to see, to where these cars, they're not easy to drive. These drivers are on their toes, but you don't want to see a bunch of wreck fest. You're gonna have cautions. You're gonna have wrecks. You're gonna have mistakes. You're gonna have part failures. You're gonna have, you know, just random things happen. But what you don't want to see is stage cautions. No one wants that. The only people who want that are probably newer fans who all they ever known was that, and NASCAR, because I guess it helps them to sell more commercials. Like we don't have a million commercials already. Yeah. Greed. But yeah, the only people who want is the newer fans and NASCAR themselves. Other than that, no one wants it. Yeah, so you're gonna have that. You don't want to see NASCAR throwing a bunch of cautions just so they can make things interesting, which they shouldn't even be allowed to do that. It literally, then people wonder why NASCAR seemed like a lot more entertainment based, which because it was. It did become the WWE. Um, you have real cars driving around. You have real drivers, real talent. But if you really examine it, the storylines are manufactured, and the strings are being pulled by NASCAR themselves, which we don't want. We never wanted. No one ever wanted that. This is a sport at the end of the day. Um, Sometimes you're gonna get a snooze fest. Those snooze fests are also what build legacies. Those snooze fests are like, yeah, this guy was just that good that day that he just whooped the field. That's what you want to see. We say that guys like Richard Petty, guys like Dale Earnhardt, guys like Jimmy Johnson were the best. We never said they were the most exciting. They were the best. The guy with the literal nickname Mr. Excitement only had 2 wins. Wasn't that great? He'll make things exciting for you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Kyle Larson himself, who is probably the greatest talent of this generation, has what? He had the potential right now to probably be in the 40s, maybe even the 50s in wins. I think if he really would not be the way he is, like to where he tries to make $1 out of 50 cents sometimes, I feel like he would probably have more wins than he has right now. There are some times where he just pushes too hard and he gets himself in trouble. Hell, you look at guys like Denny Hamlin, right? Right now, even right now in this era, he will say himself that he's not the best talent. He's not the most flashy. He's not the most exciting on track sometimes. But the man has 61 cup wins. You can't argue with those results, man. Flashy isn't always great. Entertainment, for entertainment's sake, is not all that great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could see these amazing athletes do amazing things. But sometimes the boring thing is the fastest thing. Sometimes boring is fast. Like you see a car that you're like, oh yeah, he's really having to drive that thing. He's not going as fast as a guy, he's able, the car does not look like it's going as fast, but probably got 2-3 tenths on the other guy who had to wheel the hell out of his car. You know, it's literally just common sense. We don't want a whole bunch of flash. Yeah, these guys have enough flash on their own. NASCAR is fun on its own. It does not need manufactured storylines. This is why I'm glad that we're taking a step in the right direction with the point system that we have. Now we just need to continue working on the cars, you know, continue working on the rules, and yeah, we're gonna get back to a good place where we need to be, which is a serious sport, not something that people like look at and you're like, you know, it's like the WNBA. We don't want that. So, okay. Anyways, so we had the race at Vegas this past weekend. And like I said, it was only 3 cautions in the entire event. 2 of them were stage cautions. And if you are like me, you pay attention to or at least you try to pay attention to everyone in the field, you will see that the Fords were clearly, you know, the manufacturer that had the most struggles on Sunday with not the Penske cars, but the RFK Racing guys being the best Fords on the day, literally having the first 3-4 positions, you know. So it was like, I think it was Buescher in 6th or 7th, and then you had Keselowski in 10th and Preece in 11th, which is great for those guys, you know what I'm saying? But what happened to Penske? I think with I wouldn't even say the fall off, but I would almost say that Joey Logano is the main contributor to how things are right now at Penske. Because if you look back when we had a, you know, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano duo, you know, to where like they seem like they put together entire races, and you know, that organization just seemed way more dominant. But in the history books right now, they have 3 of the last 4 championships. So, you know, maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyways, the Chevys and Toyotas on Sunday were bad fast. Especially the Toyotas seemed like they had some of the best handling on the long run. But them Hendrick boys, you know, Byron, Larson, and Elliott, man, they would not go away. They were like hound dogs all day. Like literally, if you saw anyone in the front, it was either going to be a Hendrick car or a Gibbs car. It was a Hendrick Gibbs, you know, kind of day. But then after Denny Hamlin, who went on to win the race, spoiler if you didn't watch it yet, Denny Hamlin had a pit road speeding penalty after the first, you know, stage. So I believe he went to finish 2nd in the first stage. No, I'm sorry. No. I think he was 5th in the first stage. Yeah, 5th in the first stage, right behind Ty Gibbs, who got 4th. Both him and Ty Gibbs on the first, you know, caution for the day, you know, to end the stage. They both had pit road speeding penalties, and were sent to the back of the, you know, longest line. And not even the whole way through the second stage, I was literally watching Denny Hamlin. His intervals were getting closer to the leader as he was passing cars. That car, I literally said to myself in the middle of stage 2, I was like, they better run. Because if Danny Hamlin gets anywhere near the top 5, it's over. And then next thing you know, by the end of stage 2, I think he was in damn near the top 5. And Ty Gibbs was, he also had a really good car, but I think he wasn't able to navigate the traffic as well. He was back near the top 10 as well. Those guys were just bad fast on Sunday, man. And next thing you know, Danny Hamlin is manhandling his way to the lead. He just had the best car. And I bet he was also kind of pissed off, that he had that pit road penalty, after stage 1. So next thing you know, he's battling with William Byron, and he just taking the position to just slide, like just sliding right up in front of William Byron, gave him no choice either to live or wreck them both. I don't agree with putting, your competitors in a position like that to where, it's all or nothing, but especially that early in the race. But hey, it worked out. Next thing, William Byron was able to get back by him for a little bit, but you can still tell, as long as Denny didn't push his car super hard in the first part of the run, it was his. It was his to lose. And then, as he said in his post-race interview, it feels really good to win on those days where you're the best car. And I would agree. You always take the opportunity, to win, even if you weren't the best driver on the day. You still take those wins. But it's just something about when you're the best on the day, you put together the best car, you put together the best strategy, and things fell in your favor. Even with the pit road penalty, putting him all the way to the back at the end of stage 1, to where in the past there have been other drivers that once they got back there, they were stuck back there. But not him, not yesterday, not Sunday. Like all 4 of those Gibbs cars were bad fast. Even Briscoe, that had a pit road speeding penalty in stage 1, took him most of the race, but as soon as he get back on the lead lap, marched his way to the top 10 quickly, quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm just saying. So it was a Gibbs and Hendrick kind of day. Danny Hamlin just had the best car. Even if it wasn't for the long run, he was able to hold on long enough to just be able to edge out, Chase Elliott by at least about 3/4 of a second. So, man, it was a damn good day, and that's the kind of racing I like to see. That's the kind of racing I like to see, where you get to actually see the storyline of the day, and you're not broken up constantly by cautions and cautions and cautions. So, yeah. That's it for me today. I think after this weekend, we're going to Darlington. I'm going to try my best to make a video, right after the race. So hold me to it, guys. In the comment section, say, yeah, if I don't make the video, you know what I'm saying? Like, you said you were going to make a video. You said you're going to make a video. Hold me to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for me today. It's your boy Sam. This is Ripping the Boards. Follow me on Let's Talk NASCAR _NASCAR on Instagram and Twitter. And, just follow me for more, like, share, subscribe, turn on the bell icon for notifications whenever I make a new video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Doses.